The room is bare except for a wooden cross on the wall, a small table with a glass on it, and a bed on which a small huddled shape lies beneath thin white sheets. At the sound of the door closing, her head turns. I see it is swaddled in bandages. I hear her voice, and it is all I can do not to cry at the sound. She sounds very old and tired. Ami? Yes, Nane? I do not move closer. Despite what Miss Sister Marguerite said, I am scared. Then Nane manoeuvres herself onto her side, and I see her gentle eyes above the bandages. And I forget the fear. I am only happy, happiness filling me head to toe as I cross to her side and bury my face in her neck. Through the bitter antiseptic, she smells of her earthly and sweet. Oh, Ami, she murmurs, holding me weakly. Her arms are not bandaged and her skin is smooth and warm from a hospital tunic. You came. Of course I did. And what an adventure you've had. You've heard, I say disappointed. She draws back and says, some of it, but I'd like to hear it from you. She moves up in the narrow bed so I can climb in beside her, and I tell her it is like one of our stories. I tell her about the orphanage and Sister Teresa and butterfly lessons. She seems very tired, and I wonder if she is on what Rosita was, a drug that makes you feel tired but painless and floating. I keep my mouth busy with my journey, remembering to be brave. I tell her about the letters and the fire and Lihim. I tell her about the fish and Kidlat. I tell her about walking and sleeping under the stars, Bondok with the matches, the carpet of rotten fruit, and the snake. She holds my hand tightly at this part, but most of all I tell her about Mary and the butterflies. That is a wonderful adventure, Ami. You'll remember that forever. Yes, I say. You sound sad. I'm thinking of how quickly Mary will forget me. The girl I came here with, she was taken away. Nane strokes my hand. I'm sure you will find each other again. Sister Marguerite has sent for Bondok. He said he will look after you. What about Capuno? Capuno is busy enough. He's teaching now at the school here. You are the most precious thing, Ami. You will be looked after. You are loved. Her voice cracks and she looks away through the window. And the butterflies are miraculous, aren't they? Sister Marguerite says they're all over Culion, landing everywhere. Nane sighs, her breath whistling, worse than I've ever heard it. I wish I could see them. There are so many, maybe even more than at your butterfly house. I am sure. She smiles thinly. Your Amma loved them almost as much as me, and we both love them for the same reason. Can you guess what it is? I think that they're beautiful. Nane shakes her head, the movement making her wince. Some butterflies only live a day, some a week, some a month, but they spend every single one of those days busy living, and they make the world a more beautiful place, however brief their time. Her arm tightens around me. She is saying these things as though she means something else. Her voice is sad and soft, and I have to clench my jaw to keep from crying. I brought back your basin. You'll keep it, Ami. I don't want her to explain. I already know from what she just said and from what my sister Marguerite told me. I think I knew even before that. From when I read the letter Mary stole for me, but it doesn't make my chest hurt less. Doesn't make it easier to breathe. Have you been going to church? I say hurriedly because I need to stop her from speaking, and the cross is above us, and it's all I can think of to say. Of course not. She reaches under her pillow and pulls out her terracotta gods. But they've nailed that to the wall and they won't take it down. A butterfly flies with a thump at the window. A thought flits through my mind. They like white. It's so sad, remarks Nane. Then, what are you doing? I wriggle out from under the covers and cross to the window. The mesh is held in place in a wooden frame, wedged into the uneven square hole. I can tell it was done in a rush. I begin to press the wooden frame with my unsplinted hand. Ami, you'll get in trouble. hisses Nane, but she can't get out of bed to stop me. After a few moments, the screen falls forward and out of sight. As if it had been waiting, a single brown butterfly flies inside and lands on Nane's white sheet. We are both silent for a few seconds, then Nane laughs in delight, and it is the first truly loud noise she's made. The butterfly takes off, but it doesn't matter, because more butterflies are coming in, drawn to the whiteness. By the time I have climbed back into bed, beside Nane there are a dozen flitting around, landing on the sheets or the walls. We watch them, Nane holding my hand tight, as they fill the room like leaf fall, swirling their invisible currents and weaving around our heads. Nane kisses my forehead. Thank you, Amy. That's all right. Sister Marguerite says I brought the butterflies. And so you did. Nane's voice is tired again. Do you mind if I close my eyes for a while? There are so many things I want to say, but I'm scared if I speak I'll cry. So I shake my head. We lie like we used to after I had a bad dream. Nane's arm draped across me. She speaks softly into my hair. It is all right, Amy. I'm not scared. I'm glad you came. I love you, Nane. I love you, she says. It almost feels good to cry. My body shakes and Nane holds me to her until I can stop. I take deep breaths like she taught me as she begins telling me a jumble of stories. New ones and old ones and true ones. About the giants and the house with flowers, where she was happy with Amma, and butterfly forests. Her voice slows and dips. The butterflies swirl. When she stops talking, I don't turn around. I hold my stomach tightly as though squeezing will stop my insides from feeling like they're tearing apart. The room falls into a shadowy dusk, and then the door opens and Sister Marguerite is standing in a swarm of butterflies. Nane's arm is heavy across me, and still the quiet of her no breath is the loudest sound I've ever heard. A giant, gentle hand moves Nane's touch away from my side. Bondoc lifts and folds me into his arms. There comes a silence so complete it can mean only one thing. Outside the sky cracks. Finally, the monsoon washes the air clean. So, that was a chapter and a half. There's so much to talk about, but first, you must have seen that 30 years later. We still have what I think is another 35 pages. 30 years later. So where does that leave us? Kidlat and Mary have been taken away, presumably to workhouses. There's mention of Bondoc having Amy. Unless that means that Bondoc's going to the island as well, because Amy can't stay on the island because she's a child. But maybe Bondoc is going to take her to another land and care for her, which I think would be lovely. That's my prediction, and that's made me happy. I wonder if they'll look for Mary. And I wonder what we're going to find out has happened if we're skipping 30 years. That is so much time. I was 30 years ago, and a lot of your parents were children. So crew. Let's have a think on that, and we will pick it up next week. And I would say that's 2 more weeks worth of reading we've got there, and then it's all finished. Right, gang. Superstars, thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.